Are you ready to build wise, live free, and leave a legacy? Welcome to the Budget Resiliency Podcast, brought to you by Petra Worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, the King of Kings is in the house. Warriors, take your positions, and let's get ready to prosper.
Resiliency. That seems to be the buzzword for 2026 in the economic circles. Last week, the World Economic Forum met, and the key to their conference was resiliency. What does it mean? Why is it important to you? And why is it absolutely necessary? It's part of your budget and your financial plan for 2026. Hi, I'm Nathan Weaver with Petra Worldwide. Today, I'm going to show you 4 ways to add resiliency to your budget and why it absolutely matters. As promised, let's jump into the topic of resiliency. You already know some of this, some information you've heard. If you've been paying attention to any economic news, then you already know that we have seen extraordinary food squeeze. We've seen prices for food go up post-pandemic, and we've seen those prices not really come down. So we know that today we've got a food squeeze going on in most of our grocery bills. I don't think there's anyone who's in the grocery store on a regular, consistent basis who's not feeling the price of beef and coffee and the skyrocketing effects that has on your budget. But again, you already know that. We're going to talk about a solution here in just a minute. The utility trap, we know that utility bills, similar to food prices, have also continued to go up post-pandemic, not coming back down to historical low levels. Now we're in what we would call kind of a new normal period. The vibe crisis, where people are feeling like they're not able to meet their economic goals and their budget restraints just because of the pressures they're experiencing that are absolutely beyond our control in most cases. You guys have heard a lot about this K-shaped economy. We'll talk about that first. That is another buzzword that's being thrown around quite a bit. You've got a K-shaped economy going on, which is nothing more than taking the letter K and saying the haves and the have-nots. The people that are high-income earners, that are business owners, that are prepared for this shift that we're experiencing economically through the evolution of technology will do well in this scenario. They will continue to see an upward swing in their value, their assets, and their income. The people who are not as well prepared, they're going to continue to see a squeeze in the opportunities in the job market. They're going to continue to see and feel the effects deeper on rising prices and home prices, like we just looked at, grocery prices and utility prices. So again, this is things that you already know. Everybody knows what we've encountered with housing prices. Housing prices have absolutely skyrocketed. So last week, when 3,000 economic leaders from 130 countries got together to talk about the central theme of resiliency. What is resiliency? How do we define it? Why does it matter to you? Well, resiliency in terms of definition is the ability to adapt and bounce back from adversity, stress, and other trauma that allows you to cope with a hardship and continue to function, or if you're fortunate, even emerge stronger than before. So resiliency is important because without resiliency in your personal economy, it's going to be hard to deal with the mental stress of that. It's going to be hard to deal with personal growth or achieve any personal growth. It's also going to be hard to plan. It's going to be hard to feel secure. So resiliency is absolutely necessary because we are entering a period of time in this economy where we're going to experience a change that is so rapid, a lot of people won't have the time, energy, or maybe even the resources to adjust to the changing market. But resiliency is something you can absolutely layer into your budget. We'll show you how to do that and what makes sense. So here's tip number one. Tip number one for increasing resiliency in your personal economy, layering it into your budget, is take advantage of what's available to you. Many people don't know about the Trump accounts. Some of you may get turned off with the word Trump accounts, but that's how these products are being commonly referred. The product itself is not necessarily new. We can get into the weeds on what that product is in the formal definition, all of those things. But what's important for you to know is that this is a free money account. And here's the kicker that you really need to pay attention to. If you had a child in 2025, that child is eligible for $1,000 seed deposit into their Trump account. The Trump account is really like a 401k for children. Now, kids born between 2025 and 2028, they can receive $1,000 cash deposited into the specialized account for doing absolutely nothing but being born. And so that's absolutely free money that starts for the next generation, start to offset some of their costs and help them begin to have a system in place where they're doing some saving and they don't have maybe stress over college tuition in the future, first home purchase. The power, the compound interest and growth principle from $1,000 investment from age zero to, let's say, age 40, we can do the math on that. It's an incredible benefit. So these are some ways that you can really reach out and say, how can I put some resiliency into my personal budget? This is one way. Leverage the free money that's available to you. Also, check with your employer. Check with your employer on their ability to match your contribution into a Trump account. If you have started one of these funds for your child or your children, many of the larger employers are matching contributions. And so ask the question. Worst case scenario, you get an answer no. Big deal. You got to know, you move on, and you still continue to move forward with it. So number 2, lock in rates before the rate slide. This is really talking about your ability to have your CD perform at a higher level. Now, we know that, the Fed may or may not lower interest rates. Just this week, we had hold steady on the interest rate come from the Federal Reserve, and that's okay. I think a lot of people expected that. But what we don't expect as we get deeper into 2026, now that we have a new Fed chair being appointed, we don't expect the rates to stay steady. We do expect there's going to be some reduction in the Fed rate, which means the other side of that will be the rate your money earns in a standard CD. So today, while rates are still relatively high compared to where they're going, it may be a really great opportunity for you to step back and say, hey, you know what? Let me put a little bit extra into the CD for the next 12 to 24 months, see how that does. And when rates start to go down in your CD because of Federal Reserve adjustments, you're not necessarily impacted. Maybe you've made a little bit of extra money. But that's another tool to go into your personal arsenal to manage resiliency in your personal finances. Zero-based budgeting is always a very important strategy as we continue to see prices on some items stabilize. There are some items where prices are still going up, and the impact of the tariffs are still not fully impacted yet. So there is still more inflation. Some of this inflation will be driven by the impact of the tariffs. But as that happens, what's important to you is that you manage your personal budget. Your personal economy has got to be more important than the macro economy. You certainly pay attention to your environment. But what's more important than your external environment is your internal ability to manage your personal economics. And that starts with a budget. If you don't have a budget in place or the ability to understand how to set up a zero-based budget with the tools, spreadsheets, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you with that to make sure you're in a position to have a zero-based budget. And when you're doing that, just be thinking about, limiting subscriptions. We have a lot of subscriptions out there that you may or may not be using or getting value in anymore. One option may be to look at your subscription and say, could I trade this for something more valuable to me in this particular moment? You may or may not have that opportunity, but an audit of all of your subscriptions, what you're spending money on certainly makes sense. Absolutely make sure that you built in a little bit of a buffer. While we've seen some slowing of inflation, we've seen some stabilization, more so in some markets than others. There's still uncertainty, as I just mentioned, about the tariffs and the impact of fully implemented tariffs. Those things will cause you to need to have a buffer built into your zero-based budget. So keep that in mind and make that part of your everyday budget. Assign every dollar a name. Assign every dollar a job. Every dollar in your budget must be allocated, dedicated for something very specific. If you have extra money at the end of your budget, you are in a surplus position. That's not a zero-based budget. You want to be in a surplus position, but assign that money to savings or investment. If you don't assign it and give it a job to do or give it a name, those dollars will often vanish because they don't have an assignment. Every dollar in your zero-based budget needs to have an assignment. Also, take a look at optimizing your debt. There are a lot of people in this market today. We've got clients that are going through restructuring of their personal debt. That includes refinancing their homes. We've got some people that have the ability to refinance and get a lower rate because when they originally started their mortgage, the rates were a tad bit higher than they are today. So this is a great opportunity to go back and really do an assessment of your debt. Do you have credit card debt? If you've got credit card debt and you've got the ability to do some zero interest transfers, you may want to say, let me transfer these balances, accelerate my payments. More of my money is going towards principal, not interest. That debt comes down a lot faster. So take a look at the opportunity from your credit card company to do zero interest transfers. A lot of credit card companies are running specials at this point, and you may be able to leverage that. Also, avoid lifestyle creep. There's been talk about this new proposed 50-year mortgage. That sounds really appealing, especially for people in the home market. And, at Petro Worldwide, we are an accounting, tax, and real estate firm. We sell real estate, commercial, residential, industrial, vacant land. We do those transactions all day, every day. We're really good at that. However, we also understand the impact of new products entering the market. This 50-year mortgage certainly can get some people into homes a lot faster, but you got to really be careful because the amount of interest that you're paying almost doubles. So when you do the math on a 50-year mortgage, you're going to see that the interest almost doubles that you're paying. And so that's something to be careful about. Maybe if we end up with a 50-year mortgage product in the marketplace, because today that product does not exist. It is simply a proposal of a product that could exist. If it comes to fruition, it could be another tool that you could, or maybe it's not best for you, to use that tool to optimize your debt and really leverage resiliency in your personal economy. So those are 4 tips, 4 ways for you to put resiliency in your personal economy, which is the most important economy on earth. If you need help with this, if you haven't done the planning, if you need a strategy, if you need a partner, a coach, you need people with tools, not to just advise you, but actually facilitate and do the work. Petro Worldwide, one of our signature products is King Life. King Life is a subscription-based service where we absolutely partner with you. We give you the tools, the training, the coaching. We include your tax preparation. We have a team of MSTs and CPAs, and we also have a fully licensed real estate leg of our company. So we are able to partner with you, come into agreement with you to achieve your goals, your aspirations as you walk through this journey of personal financial freedom. So visit us to enroll. kinglife.org is the website that you want to go to make sure that you select a plan that's perfect for you and your family, and then allow us to help you in the journey. We have the tools, we have the expertise, and we have the team to help make that happen. I really appreciate you spending some time with me. Again, I'm Nathan Weaver, founder and executive director at Petra Worldwide. Join us again for the next episode. Visit our website, look at our signature product, King Life, kinglife.org. Take a look, see what's right for you, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again. See you next time.